Yes, people, welcome back to Premsy TV. Arsenal versus Wolves preview. I got Dave in the building. Big up, Dave. Appreciate you coming on. How are you doing?
Nah, no problem, man. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm all good, man. All good. Sorry to keep you waiting a little bit tonight, but yeah, looking forward to
It's a minor. That's the beauty of streaming, in it. You can push it a little bit forward, push it back, do whatever you want with it. So now I appreciate you coming on, man, because I really wanted to speak to a Wolves fan, especially after the game that we just had as well, because it looks like you guys are right up for the top four fight, and numbers don't lie. Mathematically, you're there. If you win the next, two games that you have in hand on the top four, you're on level points with United. So it is looking all rosy for Wolves, to be fair. So I just wanted to get your point of view on that at the moment, Dave. What do you think?
it. Yeah, it's mad to be fair that we're even in the discussion. It's we appointed obviously Bruno at the start of the season. I didn't really know what to expect, and he's doing really well. Just obviously sorted us out defensively. I think we've got the second best defensive record in the league. I think the last, maybe since the start of the year, I think only Liverpool have got more points than us in the league as well. So, we're in a good position. Like you say, 2 games in hand. I think we've got yourselves and then West Ham on Sunday. If we can beat West Ham, obviously we leapfrog them. Like you said, 2 wins with our games in hand. We go level with United. So, yeah, we're in a good position. I think for us, people have been asking me, do you think Wolves are good enough, or can Wolves get top 4? I think it's difficult because the teams that are in between us. We've got
Yeah.
yourselves, we've got Spurs that are definitely not out of it, United, and then obviously West Ham if they can turn their form around. So there's difficult teams in there. But I think if you ask Wolves fans, we just want to get back in European football. We got into the Europa League in our first season back in the
Yeah.
Prem, and we loved the Europa League. Did really well in it, and unfortunately, lockdown sort of ruined our excitement and ruined our fun a little bit. So I'm hoping we can get back into European football again.
You got a little dog there.
I know, yeah, I know. They're excited as well. They want us to do well as well.
But yeah, so do you know what it is as well with Wolves? Personally, obviously, I'm not trying to rain on your parade. I think you've done very well. Obviously, you're the best team away in the league. You get me right about now. Like you said, second best team in regards to goals conceded. So I feel like you are in a good place, but I just think it might be a bit too much. I don't think you might have that experience just to get into that 4th spot. Obviously, I'm not saying that we do, because I'm a skeptic when it comes to Arsenal.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I've
yeah.
said, if you heard anything of mine, until the last 5 games of the season, that's where I'm going to look and think, right, okay, this is a possibility now for Arsenal to really push on and actually give me belief to take that 4th spot. Because the one thing that we've been consistent at doing is being inconsistent, and that's for many
Yeah.
years, bro. And it's become a joke. So you lose a little bit of belief. Obviously, it doesn't mean that you don't love your team and you're not supporting them,
Of course.
but you just lose that little bit of belief. But with Wolves, I feel like I said, I feel like it might just be a little bit of a push too much. And I think like a Europa League spot would be, I think that'll be right for Wolves. I think.
Yeah, I think that's
You
what
know,
we take that as well. I think you're right though. Like I said earlier, I think there's teams in between us and the top 4 that are better than us and have got a better squad depth than us. Like even United, I know they're struggling or that they're out of form. You never know when they're going to turn up, but you look at their depth. Players that they can bring off the bench and so on. Like players like Cavani, players like Rashford, they're not even guaranteed to start, which is mad. So they've got the depth and they should be able to do it. And Wolves have got a small squad. We are welcoming back some players. Like we had Pedro Neto come back for the first time in 12 months. I think that was obviously huge. But yeah, we've got an okay squad. But I think you're right. We're probably not quite strong enough to be hitting the top 4 just yet. But European football, that's all we want. Top 6, top 7, Europa League, even the Conference League, I think we'd take, to be fair.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I think that'd be a good achievement for Wolves. I think they're at a place for me as a neutral fan looking at them. They're in a place where they play good football. They can see that there's an idea under the manager, but I still think there's a few players, maybe a bit more experience to come with the team. And then I think they might be able to get over the line in the sense of start really giving that push for the top 4 spot, like Everton did under Moyes. If you remember, they were really pushing and they were always in like 5th. But you got to take your hat off to Wolves, to be fair, because in order to get into this position, with how competitive the league is, it's a mad thing. But in regards to the game, Arsenal versus Wolves at Molineux, 10 men, we managed to get over the line, 1-0. Martinelli sent off. What was your opinions on the game?
Yeah, it was one of them. I think, we started off quite nicely, to be fair. Had a couple of decent moves, but to be honest, we could have been still playing now, mate. And I don't think Wolves would have scored. It just never looked like scoring that game at all. I think, especially after the red card as well, just attacking wave after wave. And we just looked almost one-dimensional. Like, we just ran out of ideas because we were just whipping the ball into the area. And it was just like Ramsdale coming to collect it, Gabriel or Ben White head it away, and you were sound. And obviously, he had one or two chances on the counter. I think Lacazette probably should have scored second half as well. He had a good chance. So I think on the day, I think Arsenal probably deserved to win it, because I just don't think we threatened enough. In regards to the red card, it split so much opinion. For me, this is probably me being biased towards Wolves. I thought it was really good refereeing. I thought it was a red card just because I thought it was two bookable offences. But I can obviously see other supporters' point of view on it. I can see the Arsenal point of view on it as well. I had an argument with my friend who's an Arsenal fan about it at the weekend. So I could see both sides to it. But personally, for me, I thought it was, at the time, I thought it was really good refereeing that he sent him off for two bookable offences. But you're quite right. Or like I've seen a lot of Arsenal fans saying, when have we ever seen that before? Normally, you just get like a warning and they'll obviously take the booking. But yeah, it's one of those. And I think Arsenal against Wolves, I think there's been 3 red cards in the last 4 games, maybe, or 2. I can't remember. Definitely, quite a few red cards in this fixture anyway.
Yeah. Well, look, we got here in the comments, Wolves can't be dismissed. So, and this is a United fan as well. So I know this. I know this person. So you
yeah,
got to say you're getting support from other clubs. To be honest with you, so it's a good place to be in.
We're not getting much media coverage either, though. But like, which I suppose for Wolves is good in a sense. We're not getting much. Like Sky don't really talk about it. They were saying who's going to get top 4. There was West Ham, Chelsea, United, all in there. Wolves weren't mentioned. So I suppose
sometimes it's good to go under the radar, just slip under, keep doing what you're doing. But
yeah,
in regards to Arsenal Wolves, I'm going to pull up the table in a second. Now, this is the game that we've got tomorrow, and it's, for me, last game was important against you, and this game's even more important because if you guys win, if we just pull up the table here, if you guys win, you leapfrog us. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You even leapfrog West Ham.
Yeah.
So you got to think about it in the aspect of how important this game is to Arsenal, because if we win, we then put a little bit of a gap then in between yourselves and us. Obviously, we still got a game in hand. But this is where it comes back down to, can we do it? Can we do it again? Because it's not often Arsenal, when it matters, actually get over that line. And I've been saying this all season, and probably the Wolves game was probably one of them only games that we actually managed to get over the line. You get me? So I think tactically is going to be a very tight game. I can't see it being much, but I have confidence Arsenal will win the game because I think everyone's fresh. I think we've got no injuries. I think everyone's back. Tomiyasu's been training, and bro, they've got weeks to train. Like, they got full weeks to train between games, and if you can't really bring your A game, one game a week, bro, then you shouldn't be a professional footballer, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? You should not be a professional footballer. I'm getting ready to play football at 8 o'clock today. You get me, bro? I've not played football in time, but when I get on that pitch, man's giving it 110% until I pass out. That's just what it is, bro. Heart attack settings and that. But
I think with stuff like that as well, like, obviously Arsenal have been used to it. Wolves have had it in the last couple of years. Like, if you're playing European competition or want to play European competition next season, you've got to get used to that anyway. So I don't think you could be using 2 games a week or whatever as an excuse anyway. So I think, I'm hoping both teams are up for it. It's just a weird dynamic because, let alone playing twice on a Thursday, but having 2 games in the league about 2 weeks apart is quite strange anyway. And I don't think many fans know how to look into this game, because we just, even the game at Molineux was so close. I know Arsenal edged it, but to actually sort of like look at weaknesses of both teams, like, right, this is where Arsenal have got to target. This is where Wolves have got to target. I think there wasn't much of that in that game, to be fair. So it's going to be really interesting to see. And I think we played twice since then. And is it twice since then? And you guys have played once, is it?
Yeah, we've only played the once. We played against Brentford, didn't we?
Yeah. Who did we play now? So we played
Spurs. Did you play Spurs
Spurs,
after
yeah, we
that?
beat Spurs and then we beat Leicester Sunday. So we've played twice, and you guys have obviously played once since
Look,
then
he's
as
got
well. So
two top results there as well.
yeah, yeah.
So he's coming on some good form. However, there's one player that I wanted to ask you about, Dave, and that's Ruben Neves, because that's a player that I like. I think
Yeah.
that if he was to join Arsenal, because there's been so much mention of it, I think he'd add real quality to the midfield. And I think it's someone that could play alongside Partey and really improve the quality, especially going forward. Because for me, he's a player that can dictate the game from the middle of the pitch, and you don't really get that often. Do you reckon there's a chance of him moving to Arsenal? What with all the rumours that's going on? Is it all just rumours, or do you think there's anything concrete in it?
I think the rest of this season and the summer is going to be big for Wolves and Neves, because obviously Wolves want to keep him, fans want to keep him. You know, he's been, when we signed him back when we were in the Championship, I think we all expected him just to be there, to be put in the shop window, and he'd only be there about 12 months and go.
Yeah,
But he stayed with us all this time. As a club, we've done really well. I'm hoping, you know, I think it depends on, one, if Wolves get Europe, and if we don't, the amount of money the club spend on improving the rest of the squad. I think, you know, João Moutinho's contract's up in the summer. If I don't know if they're going to renew that or sign quite a big, you know, replacement in his place, and that's who's basically going to be playing alongside Neves. So I don't know, but if the board don't want to spend money in the summer and Wolves don't get European football, I think there's a big chance of him leaving. There's only 2 years left on his deal in the summer, and I don't think the club will want to get into the same situation with Neves as they did with Adama Traore, where they had, you know, felt like they gave him a good contract, and
yeah.
Adama sort of said no, and then waited until the January, and we've only got 18 months, and basically we're forced to sell him, because if we didn't sell Adama in January or didn't let him go in the summer, he could have just taken the mick really and then gone on a free. So yeah, I think this summer's huge for Neves. It just completely depends on how Wolves get on for the rest of the season, I think.
Do you think he would suit Arsenal though? Like from knowing him inside, do you reckon that's a player that we need? Do you reckon? Because I'm telling you, a player that we need in midfield is someone that can get box to box, really progress the play forward, grab the game by the scruff of the neck when it matters. You know, we know he's got a shot from distance and he can get them goals. So that's something that we all definitely know he's got. And a mentality where he's gonna, he can look at a Partey, and if he's having a bad game, pick him up. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Is that
No,
something that
yeah.
Neves is about?
Mate, I think he's not one of them players that is going to get you the ball and drive you forward in terms of like picking up the ball and driving forward himself 20, 30 yards. He's not that type of player. But like you said, he sort of dictates the tempo of the game. So he will pick the ball up and look for a progressive and a forward pass. He's been much better this year. I think the way Nuno set us up last year was very defensive and very negative, and he wasn't great. But this season, he's been allowed a bit more freedom. He's working his way up the pitch. He's scoring more goals. Scored another good goal against Leicester on Sunday, but his passing range is brilliant. I know last year, it'll be completely different now, but last year he had very similar stats and percentiles to Xhaka, which I'm sure a lot of Arsenal fans won't want to hear. But I'm sure if I compared them now, Neves would look a lot better on that front. Defensively is good as well. I don't think people realise, like, his amount of interceptions and tackles are good. And I think he deserves to be at a top team. I think whatever system you put him in, he's gonna be a good player.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I do like him. I think ideally, I'll be honest, I'd like a number 6, but I think there's room for a Neves in the team as well, most definitely, because I think we do need to clear out players like El Nene and maybe, you know, the Conga could go on a loan or something like that, because
Yeah.
he needs to bulk up a little bit. I don't think he's quite Premier League ready. Maybe if he got like a lower played for on loan for a lower team in the Premier League, something like that, at Brighton or something, if like Basuma went, and something like that, I think could work. But going on to the game tomorrow, it's a late kickoff. What would you say is Arsenal's best chance at beating Wolves? What tactic would you deploy if you was the Arsenal manager? What would you say? Right, get at Wolves. This is their weakness, from a Wolves fan.
It's difficult to pinpoint. I mean, we don't score many goals, obviously, but defensively we're sound. I think whoever scores the first goal in this game is obviously going to be crucial. But for me to pinpoint a weakness, it's hard to do, to be honest. Because for me to say, right, Arsenal, this is how you're going to score goals, I can't really pinpoint it, because defensively we've been sound. I would probably say for Arsenal to attack us and hold the ball and attack us, because that's what Leicester did. And we sat so deep at home against Leicester. I think they had like 65, 70% possession.
Yeah,
And we sat so deep against them, and a better team, a more ruthless and clinical team would have beat us on Sunday. I think even Bruno said in his press conference today, we played better against Arsenal than we did against Leicester. And we lost the
yeah,
Arsenal game and won the Leicester game. So I think it's just for you guys to make sure you're holding on to the ball and press high, and
yeah.
that will cause us some serious problems.
Because this is it. When I've seen Wolves play, I've not really seen many chinks in their armour, you see. So this is why I wanted to get a perspective of yours to see, is there anything from a Wolves fan where you're thinking, because obviously, like I said, is the defence is being top notch, and obviously being clinical for Arsenal, bro. I tell you now, mate, Lacazette, you seeing it? What we're working with, bro. And this is what pisses me off about Arsenal. You get me? Like, we should have been signing a striker, even if it wasn't the top dollar striker we wanted. Somebody like maybe a Zapata that was there available on 5 mil loan from Atlanta. You get me? Someone that can put the ball in the back of the net, because Lacazette, if you watch, even in that game, bro, he burst a tire in 70 minutes. He couldn't hardly run. And this is just what happens consistently. So being ruthless against Wolves, I think it might be a hit and miss situation for Arsenal, because we're not very ruthless. That's something that we do need to pick up on and start becoming more ruthless. But that's only going to happen when we get a deadly striker in. We've ended up letting Aubameyang go to Barcelona. My man scoring for fun now.
Hat trick. I know.
Hat trick. I'm hearing Traore left Wolves and starting to become late, and that I'm hearing that's what's going on. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to get a little combined 11, if he was to do like a Wolves and Arsenal combined 11, and just obviously not an argument, not a debate, just an honest opinion from both sides. So in net, who you having? I'm going to give you the pleasure of picking.
Oh man, this is a hard decision, because obviously we signed Jose Sarr and he's been phenomenal, but I know you boys signed Ramsdale and he's been good as well. Obviously, I'll probably have to be biased and pick Sarr if I'm honest, but I can completely understand why if you want to go Ramsdale.
I think we have to go Ramsdale. You know, do you know why? The reason I think we have to go Ramsdale is because he had no respect at the start when everyone signed him.
That is right, to be fair,
Nobody looked at him in an aspect where they thought this guy's going to end up bringing energy, life, and really being a progressive keeper at Arsenal. He's made mad saves, maybe a bit dramatic and that. Mad save. The Arsenal fans have got songs for him. You get me? And he's actually brought the atmosphere at the Emirates, the connectivity between the fans and the players. You can see he's played a big factor in it. And not only that, you know, his clean sheets are up there, and he's just generally a good goalkeeper, good kicker of the ball as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think
so
what it was with Ramsdale,
we'll have to go with Ramsdale straight away. I have to kill off Sarr there.
I think the thing with Ramsdale is as well, he had like, obviously he was quite a bit of money. He had 2 relegations on his CV as well, wasn't it? And I think like fans looked at him thinking, nah, why have they spent that much money? I was surprised at the time, because I thought Leno was the number one as well. I was surprised you spent that much money on him. But to be fair to him, he's come in and he has been good. He was faultless against Wolves really as well. I only had to make 1 or 2 decent stops, but other than that, he was good. Yeah, I'm disappointed that we can't get Sarr in there, but I'll give you Ramsdale.
Do you know what? I'm not one of them guys where I'll argue to the death, because if another player's in and around there and they're comfortable, obviously being the guest on the show, I'll give it you. But obviously Ramsdale, you have to fight for him because he has been quality, man. And even when you hear not just your team speaking about him and your fans, but other people and other fans speaking about him, you can see he's ringing bells. He got called up to the England squad as well, so
I think he deserves to start for England, really, to be honest. I know Pickford's okay for England, but on form and everything, you've got to be playing Ramsdale.
I think he's much better than Pickford, to be honest. Obviously, that's my bias being an Arsenal fan, but we'll go with a 4-4-2. Obviously, the two could be a wingers on the wide. On the right-hand side, right back, who are you going for? Obviously, we've got Tomiyasu, but he hasn't played for a while. He might be in training, so we'll just stick with Cedric for now because we're not 100% sure.
It's got to be Semedo then ahead of Cedric, I think.
Yeah, I'll give you that 100% because
he's improved a lot, man. We signed him last summer, like the start of last season from Barca. Paid quite a bit of money for him, And to be fair, he wasn't great last year. But I think it's difficult, when you're a new player coming into a country, obviously with no fans for most of last season as well. He struggled a little bit, but this year he's been much better. Obviously, plays as like a wing back and attacks a bit more, but even his defensive numbers are really strong. So, yeah, I'll probably go with Semedo.
Right, okay. I'll give you that. I think Semedo's, I like him over Cedric. If Tomiyasu was in the team, then I'd have to put Tomiyasu in because he's been a sturdy signing this summer. Someone, again, that nobody really knew about and maybe just took him under Tottenham's nose, and it's turned out to be a good piece of business. But Cedric, for me, is just a liability still. To be honest with you, he's not had the last 2 games that have been so bad, putting some decent performances, but it's just not enough. You get me? Like most people could do a job there, put me there for that much money, and best believe I'll do a job there. You know what I mean? So Semedo's all right. What about right-sided centre back? Here you going? So we've got like Ben White for Arsenal. Who plays right-sided for you? It's not Connor Cody, is it?
Nah. We've got Max Kilman that plays there. He's been good this year. On form. He's got a big shout of getting in this team.
Do you know what? I'll give you one centre back if you want, because I'm going to definitely put Gabriel in there. 100%.
I say Kilman, Gabriel back too.
And Kieran Tierney has to go left back. 100%. Trust me, Kieran Tierney's Arsenal's captain for me.
I know. I would have said Aït-Nouri was my nominee, but I'll give you Tierney as well.
I don't think your right back's that bad, but I think Kieran Tierney, what he would bring to the team collectively, especially as he's a leader in himself, I think he'll be a better player. And this season as well, it's just been unfortunate that we haven't had really a striker in the box to finish off a lot of the chances, because he does whip in some mad balls, man. Like you watch the games, the balls that he puts in.
Yeah, good crosses.
Quality.
Yeah.
Midfield now. I'm definitely having Thomas Partey there.
Let's put Neves next to him then.
Right, okay.
Maybe Arsenal's future midfield too. Maybe.
I love that. Definitely. Right, on the right side, I think we can't argue with Saka.
Yeah, mate. I'm a big Saka fan. We haven't had like a good form winger this season, so I'll give you Saka on the right. I've got a shout for maybe Podence on the left.
You know what we're gonna have to do? We're gonna have to change the formation. We're gonna have to do a 4-3-3, because you know what? There's no point having 2 strikers up front, because Lacazette ain't really firing for us. You get me? Unless you're putting a Martinelli in there, and to be fair, he's not really had the opportunity to do that, so I couldn't really say that.
Let's go 4-3-3 then. So
we'll
we need another centre mid.
We need an attacking midfield. So this is where we've got an Odegaard, Emil Smith-Rowe.
See, my only other nominee would be Moutinho, but he's obviously not really. He'd be more of a holding midfielder.
Yeah, but I like Moutinho, but I think he's cracking on now, and I think
mate, he's been good. He's been good this year for us, but I think with the numbers that Smith Rowe and that have been providing this year, I wouldn't.
Leading goal scorer for us, man. It's mad. But we could also put Smith Rowe out on the left as well. So there's a few options that we can do. But Odegaard's not being bad, I must say.
I like him as well.
He's actually not being bad. In the last game against Brentford, he actually dictated the game. That's something that you're starting to see. Every game he's playing, he's starting to improve his balance in the game between attack and defence, and really grasping the areas that are free. And that's something that I think he was hesitant with when he first came. I think he was a bit nervy on the ball at first, because he kept giving possession away, and it was a bit of a mad thing. But since he's come in over this new training period, he looks quite fresh. So I think Odegaard maybe.
Yeah, how old is he now? Because he seems like he's been around for years. He's like 23, or is it younger?
23. I think he's only just turned 23 as well. So he's
been around. He was like 16. He was the big thing when he back in Norway. I remember that Madrid signing.
I think though, during his career, it wasn't managed properly, bro.
Nah, I don't think
that move to Real Madrid at 16 years old, bro, is a mad move. You got to think about the money you're getting as well, bro, at a 16-year-old. Obviously, I'm not saying he's not a professional, because they're saying that he's probably going to be the first choice for Arsenal captain now. But you got to think 16 years old. That's a lot of pressure, man.
To be fair, he's done well considering, because there's been players that have moved to big clubs at that age and their career's just done that. So he's done quite well considering that. I think there was Sociedad, he did really well, and obviously came to you boys as well and done really well. So I do like him. Yeah. I'll let you have him in the team.
I think Odegaard in there. I think up front, we'll go up front first, because I think you can have that one easy.
Should we put Jimenez in there? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put Jimenez in there, because I actually like him. I think even after he's obviously broke his head against us or whatever he's done, I don't exactly know the injury that he sustained, but it looked like a broken head to me. he's not asked, is he, bro? Like, he'll still throw his head there. And
Mate, he was beating Soyuncu and that in aerial duels on Sunday. It was mad, like the flick-ons he was getting. I was like, what? Like, if
it's
it was me,
crazy,
I would
man.
not be going up for them headers. But like, yeah, he's got no fear. He just
Yeah,
needs to add a couple more goals to his game. Obviously, he scored against Spurs when we beat them.
yeah.
But the thing is, it's not that he's missing chances. He's just not getting much service, to be fair. So I think, yeah, I'm hoping that he can start scoring some more goals and help us towards our European push. But yeah, Jimenez up top.
Jimenez up top. I think on the right, we have to go Saka. We
Yeah, I
can't
like
not
Saka. I'll
go
give you
Saka.
Saka.
Right, on the left now, obviously, personally, I would go Smith Rowe because he's our leading goal scorer and I think he's a quality player. Even though we got Martinelli back as well, obviously,
Yeah.
obviously, I love Martinelli as well, but I think with Smith Rowe getting that goal and whatnot, Martinelli could come off the bench in my aspect. But then again, Podence, I do like Podence.
He's done all right this year. He's hit a lot more consistency this year. He kept having like little injuries last year, and he'd have a really good game. Like at the Emirates, he was unbelievable.
Yeah,
Like he'd have a really good game, and then he'd like get an injury or just be off it for a few weeks. This year's been much better, but
he's a
I don't
tricky
think
little
he's.
character. He looks.
Yeah, he is. He's good. Like Sunday, he was good as well. People always compare him to Hazard with his play style.
I was
So
just
that's
going to
what.
say that. I swear to God, he's just like an
Yeah,
Eden Hazard, ain't he?
yeah, he's like that. But I think I can't argue with Smith Rowe's numbers though. To be fair,
It's going to have
I
to be
think
Smith Rowe, ain't it?
I
I
know.
think he's got to get the England call up as well, man. I think it'll be gutting if Smith Rowe don't get called up for the
He's
England
got it,
team.
mate.
He's got to.
Southgate's got a tough decision, to be fair. The next international break, there's loads of English players doing well.
Here's one here.
Okay. Got Pep
Podence on the
Guardiola
left.
playing false nines on that, yeah.
I know, yeah, Jimenez. But do you know what? I
don't dislike that.
Do you know why I think Jimenez would work in that team so much, though? Because I think them balls coming from Kieran Tierney, I'm telling you, he'll be all over them. But we're going to wrap it up shortly, bro. I just want to get your prediction for the game just before we do. Talk to me from your heart.
I think, it's going to be a close game. Mate, I would take a point. I'm going tomorrow, to be fair. I am looking forward to it, but I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw, I reckon. But I'd take that, I think. As long as Arsenal are dropping points and not gaining much space on us. I think if we could draw this and then beat West Ham Sunday, I think that'd be a decent set of results for us.
Is that what you want, or what do you,
mate,
think?
That's what I think. What I'd like, my heart was probably saying 2-1 Wolves, but my head is saying 1-1.
Right, okay. First dudes. Like, you know what? I was trying to clear my schedule all day to try to get up to the game, but I can't do it, man. It's just a killer. That's the problem being in Manchester. Sometimes when you're grafting and stuff, it's a bit hard, when it's on a weekday. But normally, man can push this and that aside. But unfortunately, I can't even make it. Others I would have probably linked up with you after the game.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a tight game. I don't think there's going to be much in it. I think the Wolves players are going to really want it because how the Arsenal players celebrated at the end of the game, like they won the Champions League and that. You get me? So I think they're going to look at that. I think Ruben Neves came out with some comments after that, didn't he, or something?
Yeah, I think to be fair to Neves, I think that I get what he was saying.
Tongue in cheek.
I think what he was saying was basically like, for us as a club, look how far we've come because teams like Arsenal, like this is how much it means for them to be beating us at Molineux. Whereas I think obviously the media and that are saying like, oh, look at Arsenal celebrating against Wolves like they won the Champions League. Yeah. So I can sort of get it. But even today, Bruno Lage commented on it and saying like, if it was at the Emirates and we beat him with 10 men, I would have celebrated the same way. Yeah, but then I've seen other media like twist his words slightly, saying like taking the mick out the celebration. So I get it. But yeah, I think Arsenal fans and the players will be up for it. I think it'll be a really good game. I'm hoping anyway.
Yeah. Right. Well, my prediction is going to be 2-1 to Arsenal.
It's always a safe bet, isn't it? Both teams to score.
Yeah, because you know what it is? I don't think there's going to be much in the game. And I know we're going to probably concede a goal. Look, we even conceded against Brentford, you know what I mean? So we've definitely got a goal to concede in us. And I think the problem with Wolves is I think if we get that first goal, they haven't really scored many goals. And I think it might be an issue. They might get a 1-1 and then being at home, the fans there, it's a good possibility. Martinelli back as well. Maybe Tomiyasu back into the starting lineup. I think it'll be a 2-1, to be honest with you. I hope it's 2-1.
I think both teams have got a very good record when scoring first, like going on to win the game. I think Wolves when scoring first, are unbeaten in a ridiculous amount of games. But I think Arsenal have got a really good record at it as well. So I think that first goal, if there is going to be one, is going to be really crucial tomorrow.
It's crazy because we've not actually beat yous since you guys have been promoted to the Premier League at the Emirates.
At the Emirates, yeah, I know, yeah. We've got a good we've got a good record there, yeah.
That's pretty mad. That so this 2-1 and that it better come through. But but Dave, appreciate you coming on. Bless up,
pleasure,
people who are watching. Respect. Make sure you're liking, subscribing. Make sure you check Dave's channel out, Talking Wolves, and peace out. We'll see you on the next one.